This was front page headline news in the major metropolitan daily newspapers of the United States, from the Chicago Tribune to the New York Times. Many people were drawn to Springfield because they were fascinated to see the damage that had been done. So it became something of a tourist attraction. Whether it ever matched the attraction of Abraham Lincoln as a tourist magnet, I can't say.
But it's kind of like the circus came to town, or, the tornado swept through town. It's like a big event. Something big and important happened here, and you want a photographic record of it. A lot of it, too, is like any other disaster. It happened, we had the flood, the earthquake, the fire, whatever. And there is a sense that something like a riot or other disaster is a singular event. So it's over with.
Mabel Hallam, the woman whose charges against George Richardson really had triggered the riot, had lied when she said that the injuries to her face had been caused by a violent lover, and she had to have some excuse to give her husband. So they freed George Richardson. He lived out the rest of his life, I believe, in Springfield, actually, an innocent man who almost was lynched.
James went on trial for the murder of the engineer Clergy Ballard and was found guilty, sentenced to hang. He was hanged here in October of 1908.
This riot happened because somebody was killed and somebody allegedly was raped, and somebody else wanted to avenge those. It's as simple as that. I mean, yeah, racism had to be there, of course, but that doesn't explain anything. You've got to understand the logic of a riot. You've got someone or several people who are initially victimized. The first question you should ask is, who, if anyone, is going to be motivated to avenge them? Relatives, friends, coworkers, what do those networks look like? And the terrible thing about the Springfield riot is that you have all of those kinds of connections overlapping in one small neighborhood. Both victims are in the North End. Most of the people who riot are neighbors and friends, and they work in the same places, so that's a high degree of solidarity up there.
The fact that a riot of this magnitude and viciousness could take place in Lincoln's hometown on virtually the eve of his centennial celebration was an irony that struck many civil rights advocates as, on the one hand, particularly cruel, but on the other hand, a nice public relations opportunity. And some of the people who had been arguing for some time that there needed to be a strong lobbying organizational movement in favor of civil rights and against lynching decided to use the Springfield Race Riot as the pretext for forming a national civil rights movement, which in fact created the NAACP.
Springfield's significant because it was a catalyst for that organization forming, and sort of the pivotal event here.
The branch in Springfield, our particular branch in Springfield, started in 1921. So they have been very active in Springfield since that time. Obviously, the issues change, but the principles have remained the same. It's been equality treatment before the law and the exercise of freedom by any and everyone.
The NAACP, actually, had to underwrite the cost of a lawsuit in Springfield to make sure that black teachers could get jobs in the school system and that black students could attend schools that were not inferior to the white schools. So there has been change. I'm not sure it's enough change, but there's been change.